Stickman was having a pretty normal day. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. Then everything changed. He stumbled upon Tiff and Britt messing around with beakers and tubes. It looked like a science fair gone wrong. Green goo bubbled in one container and a purple liquid smoked in another. "What are you two up to?" Stickman asked. "None of your business," Britt snapped. She was always grumpy. Tiff giggled, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "We're making a special drink," she said. "It's called the Super Duper Energy Booster." Stickman eyed the concoction nervously. The colors alone screamed danger. He decided to make a hasty retreat. I think I'll pass," he said. He turned to go, but Tiff and Britt had other plans. They lunged. Stickman tripped and fell head first towards the bubbling brew. He closed his eyes, bracing for the worst. "Cannonball!" Britt shouted. She and Tiff high-fived as Stickman disappeared into the liquid. The concoction fizzed and popped. A giant green cloud erupted, engulfing Stickman completely. Tiff and Britt coughed. "Whoa," Britt said. "Maybe we used too much plutonium." When the smoke cleared, Stickman was gone. In his place stood something else. It glowed with an eerie green light. Its eyes crackled with energy. Tiff and Britt gasped. "What have we done?" Tiff whispered. The creature that was once Stickman stepped forward. It was taller now, more muscular, and it was really, really mad. "You think this is funny?" Radiation Stickman boomed. His voice was deep and menacing. Britt gulped. "Maybe a little?" she squeaked. Radiation Stickman cracked his knuckles. "You'll pay for this," he growled. He pointed a glowing finger at Britt. A bolt of energy shot out, engulfing her in a blinding light. When the light faded, Britt was gone. In her place stood a giant, purple, spiky monster. Radiation. Stickman let out a triumphant laugh. He had turned Britt into a hideous beast. Revenge was sweet. He turned his attention to Tiff. She was cowering behind a tree, her eyes wide with terror. "Don't worry, Tiff," Radiation Stickman said with a wicked grin. "You're next." Tiff scrambled to her feet and ran. She knew she had to escape before the radioactive rage consumed her too. She could hear Radiation Stickman's booming laughter behind her. He wasn't worried. He knew he would catch her. He was faster, stronger, and glowing with radioactive energy. Radiation Stickman's transformation wasn't just physical. The toxic concoction had amplified his emotions too. His anger, his frustration, his desire for revenge. It was all magnified 1,000 times over. He would make Tiff and Britt pay for what they had done, and then he would use his newfound power to reshape the world in his own image. Tiff's breath came in ragged gasps. Her legs burned, but she couldn't stop running. She could hear Radiation Stickman getting closer. She risked a glance over her shoulder. He was gaining on her, his glowing green form casting an eerie light through the trees. Just when she thought she was done for, she saw it. A glimmer of hope. It was a small, nondescript building half hidden in the undergrowth. A sign above the door read, "Top Secret Laboratory, keep out." Tiff didn't hesitate. She veered off course and sprinted towards the building. She slammed through the doors and bolted it shut just as Radiation Stickman caught up. He pounded on the door, his voice muffled but full of rage. "You can't hide in there forever, Tiff," he roared. Tiff's heart pounded. She looked around frantically for an escape, for anything that could help her. The laboratory was dark and dusty, filled with strange machines and bubbling vials. It looked like the perfect setting for a mad scientist's lair, and that's when she saw him. A figure emerged from the shadows. He had a wide, mischievous grin plastered on his face, a grin that could only belong to one person. Trollface. "Well, well, well," Trollface said, his voice dripping with mock surprise. "Looks like we got ourselves a situation here." Tiff backed away, unsure whether to be relieved or even more terrified. Trollface was known for his elaborate pranks, his love of chaos. Was he here to help, or would he just make things worse? "Don't worry, Tiff," Trollface said, his grin widening. "I've got this all under control." He pulled out a syringe filled with a bubbling blue liquid. "I call it the antidote of awesome," he announced, striking a dramatic pose. Tiff wasn't convinced. "Are you sure that will work?" she asked, eyeing the syringe nervously. "Of course it will work," Trollface said. "Trust me, I'm a professional." He approached the door cautiously. "All right, Stickman," Trollface said. "I know you're out there, and I've got something that will calm you right down. Radiation." Stickman's angry voice echoed through the lab. "You better have a good explanation for all of this, Trollface," he shouted, "because if you don't, you're next." Suddenly the lab doors burst open. Radiation Stickman stood there, glowing with radioactive fury. But before he could unleash his wrath, a blur of blue and silver shot past Tiff and Trollface. It was Jenny Wakeman, the teenage robot with a heart of gold and a lot of firepower. "Nobody messes with my friends," Jenny declared. She launched herself at Radiation Stickman, her fists flying. The lab became a whirlwind of motion and energy. Jenny's metallic body clashed against Radiation Stickman's glowing form. Trollface, meanwhile, saw his chance. He darted forward, dodging a straight energy blast, and jabbed the syringe into Radiation Stickman's glowing arm. The effect was immediate. The green glow faded. Radiation Stickman's body shrunk back to its normal size. He looked around in confusion, his anger replaced by bewilderment. What happened? He asked. The mutated grid monster, sensing the shift in power, reverted back to her grumpy self. What's going on? Grid grumbled, looking around in a daze. Tip, Jenny, and Trollface exchanged relief smiles. The ordeal was finally over, and, most importantly, everyone was back to normal.